Hey guys, it's the Last Natural here, and I want to talk about the two most important factors when it comes to losing weight, getting shredded, getting jacked, all that good shit. And this may come across as simple, but that's because it is simple. Losing weight isn't complicated, and anyone who's trying to complicate it is either trying to sell you something or they just don't have any real concepts of nutrition. And that brings me to my two major things to focus on when you're dieting. That is your caloric intake being number one and your appetite being number two. And these play on each other. I'm breaking this down into two really simple things, but these are all that matters. Everything else is just maybe icing on the cake, but this is all you need to succeed on a diet. Popular, where am I going with this? Caloric expenditure is the only thing that matters when losing weight. Weird diets and popular diets aren't the contributing factors to losing weight. Caloric expenditure is. If you're in a caloric deficit, you're gonna get leaner, you're gonna get jacked, you're gonna get shredded. And that's all there is to it. And if you can stick to being in a caloric deficit, you're gonna get to those goals. You'll always hear those fucking those people, those nice people that talk about how little they eat and they can't lose weight. But the truth is, guys, that they lie to themselves and they lie to others. They think they're not eating as much as they are, but they are. No one has a special metabolism. No one physiologically is exempt to the losing weight rule. It's just not physiologically possible. If you're eating in a caloric deficit, you're gonna lose weight. So tell your fat grandma that she needs to put down the fork to lose weight. Anyway, so this brings me to my second point, which is appetite. Appetite is you're gonna be your real key factor for losing weight. And I've figured mine out pretty well by now. For me, I know that I'm not a big morning eater, so I play on that. I take my calories for the day out of my morning and I save them for later in the day, so that gives me so much wiggle room and I don't feel hungry at the end of the day. A lot of people can't do this, which is fine. We're not all the same. And I'm saying I figured myself out. Your job is to figure yourself out. For me, it's not eating in the mornings. I don't eat around, most days, not every day, but most days I don't eat until around 12. And that works for me. I also drink a lot of coffee, which also helps with appetite suppressant in the morning. But once I get to lunch, I'll have a nice big lunch and I'll just continue eating my day normally. And it's not a big deal for me, and I stay lean pretty much year round. And that's it for me. But it's not because of my weird dieting method that I'm able to lose weight. It's because I'm in a caloric deficit. So I have my appetite and my caloric deficit working with each other. And that's the most simplest way to look at weight loss, and it's the only two things you really need to think about. A lot of diets are overhyped and said to have magical properties. Let's talk about keto, for example. Keto, when you're doing a keto diet, you're burning fat as a main primary fuel source. I'm not going to argue with that. You are burning fat as a primary fuel source, but it's still the caloric. You're burning fat as a primary fuel source, but that's not the reason that you're losing weight. It's the reason you're losing weight is because you're in a caloric deficit. Believe it or not, you can still gain weight on a keto diet. You can still gain weight if you're in a calorie surplus while eating keto diet. It might be difficult because of your appetite, and that brings me back to why keto works. Is because it's good at controlling appetite. High protein foods are satiating. We know this. It's fact. So that's why it works for a lot of people, but they'll give the diet all these magical claims like it's because of the burning fat, but it's not true. It's because of a caloric deficit. And that's the reason why people lose fat on keto diets. So don't buy into diets, intermittent fasting, keto, if it's your macros, like they're all tools, but they're not the reason people are losing weight. I'm not saying don't try these things because they work for people, but just, I think, focus on the primary things, which I'm going to bring it back to: your caloric expenditure and your appetite. Anyway, that's all I have to say on that. Thanks for watching. I'm The Last Natural.